everybody, welcome back to another video or to another podcast, whether you are watching this on my YouTube or you are listening to it through your headphones on Spotify, on Apple, whatever it might be. I just started doing video podcasts as well as audio podcasts, so I've been on YouTube a ton recently, so definitely make sure you go subscribe to my YouTube, follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I post a bunch of clips from my episodes and also a ton of lifestyle content if you guys are ever interested in seeing behind the scenes of me and my life and what a work day for me looks like. I post every single day on my TikTok and on my Instagram and on my YouTube, so been super consistent with all the posting recently, and I'm really excited for today's episode because we're going to be talking all about just being productive, being your most productive self. I have a ton of notes here on my computer. If you see me looking over in this direction, I took a lot of notes, wrote down a lot of quotes. I like to get a lot of inspiration for my episodes from myself and the life I'm living. So I feel like I have been very productive recently because of the habits that I've been doing. So I want to share those habits with you. I also do feel a little sick today, so if you hear my voice kind of like sounding a little off, that is why. And I'm stressed out because on Friday I actually have my engagement party on June 20th, and that is the last thing that I want to be sick for. So I've just been trying, like, I know this whole week is raining in New Jersey, which is really, really difficult because I want to get a natural tan before my party, which is such a first world problem, but I really am just hoping that I'm not sick before this party because that would just be extremely stressful for me to be sick the day of my engagement party. So that is happening. But basically, I wanted to do this episode because I think that I've just been going through a lot of stages of being burnt out and then being overly motivated. And I feel like that's a very similar feeling that a lot of us get. I feel like it's very easy to fall off routine, but then when you're in that good routine, you just want to preach about it. So that's why I want to film today's episode, because I think that I've been really good in my routine recently right after an episode of being burnt out. So I kind of want to talk to you guys about that episode of burning out, and then also how I've been getting back on track and things that I do to be productive every single day, which I'm really, really excited to talk to you guys about. Just a little bit about me if you've never listened to my show before. A quick little introduction so you don't have to skip through. I promise I won't make it long. My name is Olivia Eve. I'm 24. I'll be 25 on June 21st, so coming up this upcoming weekend. And I've been doing this podcast for 4 years now. I'm trying to get into the habit of doing 2 episodes a week. So Wednesday and Fridays I'm hoping for, or Monday and Fridays. I feel like Mondays are a really good time to listen to an episode, or even like Sunday nights releasing a new episode. So I'm debating how I want to kind of format it, but right now I think I'm going to do Mondays and then Fridays. So obviously this is coming out on Monday. I have a guest episode coming out on Friday, which is really exciting, but I'm going to be extremely busy this week with the party planning on last minute stuff for the engagement party. So I wanted to pre-film this, but my episodes and my podcast are just all about self-love, self-improvement, self-confidence, knowing your worth, knowing your value, and using that worth and value in your relationships, in your friendships, in your success, in your career, whatever it might be. So very excited for today's episode. It is currently 1:30 p.m. I have been pretty productive today, but like productive from bed, and honestly most of it was just planning this episode. But I am excited to just chat with you guys about the ways that I organize. If you are watching the video version, I'm going to be having screen recordings here as well of the things that I'm talking about. If you're listening to the audio version, no worries, everything will be super self-explanatory, but I of course will be linking the video and audio. Everything is always linked down below, so please make sure to watch the whole episode for the full way through. Follow me on all my social medias linked down below. Everything's at For You from Eve. And then also make sure to listen to my ads all the way through because it helps the show so much when you guys do that. And of course, give my show a good rating, good review, and share it with your friends. And without further ado, let's go ahead. I got my coffee here, which is really good today. I don't know what I did differently today, but for some reason it's tasting extra delicious, so I'm enjoying it. I have Manuka honey and cinnamon in my coffee. I wasn't feeling great today, so in the morning I had like green tea with honey and lemon, and now I'm gonna spoil myself to some caffeine. But I want to get into the episode. I do have a really busy weekend, which we'll kind of talk about in this episode as well, and just talk about how I'm formatting my weeks and my weekends. If you guys don't know what I do for work, just so you can get a better idea of it, I do a lot. So of course I have my podcast and I have my own social media that I do. So I do my own marketing and advertising for my podcast. The only outside help that I will get is an editor for my podcast episodes or my vlogs a lot of the time, because that is just one thing I do not have the time for all the time. And I just found someone way more talented than I am. So I just like to, find that outsourced help. However, I do have my own podcast. I do my own social media. And then I also do freelance social media. So freelance social media is basically where you'll grab a bunch of clients, or not grab a bunch of clients, but you'll get a bunch of clients and you will run their social media, whether I'm a content creator in social media or I'm a social media manager. I do both. So for one brand that I'm working with right now, it's a coffee company. I do full social media management for them. And then I'm going to start doing social media management for this marketing agency that does apartments and homes in the city. So there's a few different things that I'll do. There's a few different clients that I've worked for, but that is something else that I do, is the freelance social media work. So that is something that I really enjoy doing, but it definitely does take up a lot of my time. And along with doing all of that, I also like to make sure that I'm focusing on my fitness, my health, my relationship, my faith, all of that. So of course. And then, of course, I decided to add YouTube into the mix as well. So I'm just adding more onto my plate. I have a Substack. I'm really just working on becoming a content creator and making my podcast much more successful than it is, but then also making sure that I'm not forgetting about life's best things, which is family, friends, relationship, all that stuff. And of course, health. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to create really good to-do lists, how I'm really productive, how motivation is kind of a myth, and how a lot of it really has to do with self-discipline. And I'm going to show you and share with you guys how I organize everything in my planners and the best way that I like to go about things, because I truly don't think you can be productive without a plan. I know that there's a lot of people out there that don't need a to-do list. They don't need a plan. They just need to know what they have to do and just do it. I'm not one of those people. I need to write everything down in order to know what it is that I have to do. I've always been like that. So I'm going to kind of just show you guys all the mindset shifts, all the habits, and all the tools that I use to feel my best and just be my most productive self. The first thing that I want to say is I want to break a few myths. And the first myth I want to break is that you don't have to do more, you just have to do better. So just because you have a calendar that's packed from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. does not mean that you are so productive because you're doing all of that. You're probably just burning yourself out. So what you need to do is you need to focus on doing better. So not doing more, but doing better. So realize that burnout does not equal success. So if you have a calendar that your goal is to just fill up your calendar to look the most color coordinated and all that stuff, you are not going to achieve what you want to achieve. I used to actually be like this a lot, where I felt like the more hectic and filled my calendar was, the more successful I was, or the more like productive I was, which is just not the case whatsoever. And I slowly started to realize that I just needed to organize everything much better. So I want to break that down for you, that burnout does not equal hustle and motivation. I think that burnout is sometimes a little bit over glamorized as well. I feel like you shouldn't be completely exhausting yourself. I think there is balance in a 9 to 5 or in a school life. You just need to find it and find what works for you. So that's the first myth I want to break down, is that you don't need to do more, you need to do better. Another thing that I want you to focus on is your intentions, not just your intentions for the month or for the year, but for the day. So what is your intention for the day? And this doesn't even always have to be a task. Your intention for the day could be to be more present, to be more kind, or your intention of the day could literally be to just be more intentional with what you are doing. So I want you to start thinking of, what is my intentions today? When you wake up every single morning, what is your intention? I just started actually writing in the 5-minute journal every single day, which has been a game changer for me. Let me just say, I was always struggling to be consistent with it for some reason, but I finally got super consistent with my 5-minute journal. And I love just like spending those extra few minutes in the morning to just show my gratitude and write down my affirmations and just remind myself that I'm healthy, I'm successful, all of that good stuff. Because I feel like that's something that could just be so overlooked. And I think taking those few minutes every single day to write it just makes such a big difference in my day. So highly recommend just taking a few extra minutes every single morning to write in a journal. I use the 5-minute journal. It's my favorite. I will link it down below. So that is one thing that I like to do every single morning. It just helps me to set my intention for the day, set the mood right, and just kind of not go into the day going straight on my phone. I will be so honest. I'm such a phone person first thing in the morning, where the first thing I do is I shut off my alarm on my phone and I go on it right away. No matter, even if my phone is charged like across the room, it's still going to be what I do. And I hate that I do that. That is a habit I'm still trying to kick. However, even if I go on my phone for a few minutes, I like to make sure that after going on my phone, I will open up my journal, and before I get out of bed, I will make sure that morning portion is written down. And I just feel like it helps me a lot to be disciplined, because it's not like I'm being disciplined to do something hard. It's like I'm disciplining myself to do something actually really simple. So it's like funny that it's hard to sometimes discipline ourselves to do the simplest things. Like it actually takes me 5 minutes to write in that journal every single morning. So the fact that that's something I have to tell myself to do or remind myself to do, I think can be really funny. But that is just one of those things where I personally just feel like I need to start working on is doing like a phone-free hour. Like the first hour of my morning, I do not have to be on my phone. I just don't. Even the first 30 minutes, like if I can just do 30 minutes, if I'm able to see the sunlight and myself before my phone, I think that is a win. So I really just want to practice waking up in the mornings now that it's summertime as well and I can actually get in the sunlight. I think that will make a huge difference. I sometimes will kind of like test that theory out, and when I wake up first thing in the morning, I'll go in my sunroom downstairs and I'll just lay where the sun is hitting before going on my phone, and it really does make a difference in my day, and I'm like, oh, that felt so great. And then I don't do it again for like a month or two. So highly recommend just trying to get some sunlight in and look at yourself before you look at your phone in the morning. Like wake up, get out of bed, go in front of your mirror. Say some positive things to yourself. Go outside, get in the sunlight. Do all those things before you pick up this phone and you hear what other people have to say about you, because majority of the time this is not filled with positive things. It could be filled with things that stress you out. And this actually happened to me just the other day, where first thing I did was go on my phone and I saw something that annoyed me, and I was like, great, now I'm starting my morning off like this. And that just like pissed me off. I was like, I don't want to start, it's 8 a.m. I don't want to start my morning thinking about this. And I did, because it was the first thing that I did. Now, however, if I was able to go in front of my mirror first, go in the sunlight first before going on my phone and journaling, I would have, I think, handled the situation that I saw on my phone much better. But unfortunately, I did not take those steps. The next thing I want you to think about, when we were talking a little bit about intentions and setting your tone off right in the morning, is I want you to also think about what are your priorities for that day, for that week, for that month. So this is something I just started doing. So I will every single month write, these are the priorities for my month. So in the month, I will write down my priority. Like as of right now, I will write down my current priorities for the month, and then I will also do it for the week. And then I actually will do it for every single day as well, but those will be kind of in smaller increments. So for example, my priority of the month right now is to develop a consistent fitness routine. It is to finish planning and executing my engagement party, and it is to grow my podcast, downloads, listenership, channel, all of that. So those are my 3 big priorities for the month. Those are things where I'm going to have to do things every single day or every week in order to accomplish those priorities for the month. So if my first priority for the month is develop a good fitness routine or get consistent with working out, what gym am I going to? Am I going to plan my workouts every single week? That's something you have to think about. So when you prioritize something for the month, you also have to make sure that you are figuring out, what do I have to do this week to make that priority for the month happen? What do I have to do today to make that happen? So if your priority for the month is to get on track with your fitness and be fit, then every single week you're going to have to plan out your workouts for the week. How am I going to work out Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday? How am I going to get my movement in? If my priority is the engagement party, okay, great. Here's a list of things that I have to get done in order to have a successful, fun, amazing engagement party. Luckily, I'm almost done with that list, which is a really great feeling. But that is something that also I think is really important to think about. Like my engagement list of things I have to get done for that party is almost complete. And because it's almost complete, that priority for the month after June 20th is going to be crossed off. And then for my podcast, it's also listing out what can I do every single week and every single day for my podcast to grow. Make sure I'm uploading daily podcast clips. Make sure I'm posting daily words on my For You From Eve words account, quotes account, whatever it might be. Make sure I'm posting daily on my social media channels. And then every single week, make sure I'm planning out when am I filming my episode, when am I editing my episode, and when am I posting my episode. Those are the type of things that I mean. I don't want you to just write a monthly goal of I want to be healthy. What does that mean? Like, what is your umbrella? That is your umbrella. What are the things that are going to go under it? I want to be healthy. Going to the gym, cooking my own meals, sleeping early, waking up early, drinking enough water. These are the things that are gonna go under the I want to be healthier umbrella. So I want you to think of each monthly intention or each monthly goal as a big umbrella, and under it are the raindrops, and these raindrops are what are going to make up that umbrella. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I want you to think about it, because now you're writing down steps and you're actually going to achieve that monthly goal. Like, how crazy is it that you're actually going to achieve that monthly goal if you are just writing down how to do it? So now I want to think more of, so now we have like our monthly stuff. Now let's talk more about the weekly stuff. Also, I like to write down my monthly goals. I have a physical planner here. I'm going to show you guys my physical planner. I'm going to link this down below as well. This is a content planner, however, so I'm gonna also link my favorite monthly weekly planner that I used to use before this. But this is a content planner I got from The Daily, Dailee. I found it on TikTok and I ordered it because it was one of the best things I've ever seen. It has monthly, weekly, daily. It has like content planners, sponsorship ideas, content planning, all of that stuff, monthly goals for social media, like all of that is in this planner. So I like to write down my monthly goals in my physical planner, but I also like to write it down on my Notion. So I have a few different Notions. This isn't sponsored by Notion or anything, but Notion is my favorite. But I'll also sometimes just use my Notes app. I feel like people don't realize how useful your Notes app can be, and it's free on your iPhone or on your computer, or even your Stickies app on MacBook. I use my Stickies app a lot, but I just feel like in my Notes app, it's like sometimes I'll quit my Stickies app and I'm like, wait, now all of that is gone. So I do prefer putting everything in my notes. Sometimes I'll transfer my Notes app into my Stickies just so I can see it displayed on my computer every time I open it up. But it's honestly so easy to just write in your Notes app. And I feel like once you realize how easy it is to just take up your notes and write June at the top and then write June goals, June monthly goals, write that down, weekly things, and then daily. Like, I feel like that's really easy to do as well. So you can use your Notes app. I use Notion. I have a weekly and monthly planner of my Notion that I can also link down below for you guys. But I mostly use that for weekly stuff. But other than that, I like to make sure I write down my monthly goals in those areas. You can also put your monthly goals on a Post-it note and stick it on your bedside table or your bathroom mirror and somewhere where you're going to see it every day, just so you're reminded of the things you have to do to achieve those monthly goals. Now for the weekly stuff, I like to plan out my weeks normally every Sunday night or Monday morning. It really just depends if there's something going on Sunday night. I normally can't do anything, but normally Monday mornings I will also like to plan things out. Sometimes even Friday nights, like if I have a busy weekend, sometimes Friday nights I like to plan out that weekend and the upcoming week. It really depends. Like for example, I'm recording this on a Friday and I'm probably going to plan out all of next week today. So I can screen record for this video, but also because I do have a pretty busy weekend, so it will just be much easier. But I think it's really important. So when it comes to a weekly schedule, what I like to do personally is on my Google Calendar. I'm a huge Google Calendar girl. I like to color coordinate everything on my Google Calendar. So some things will say podcast, some things will be social media, some will be appointments, workout, vacations, whatever it might be. So I also want to tell you, and I actually learned this from my friend Tori that I interviewed a few months ago. So if you guys didn't watch that on YouTube or listen to it, I interviewed Tori DeSimone. I think that's how you pronounce her last name, but Tori Sterling. I interviewed her and she told me how when she time blocks on Google Calendar, she'll also color coordinate every single thing. And I actually got this idea from her because I was like, that is so smart because now I'm prioritizing my workout just as much as I'm prioritizing my meeting at 2 p.m. And I think that is really, really important, especially if your monthly goal is something to do with fitness or health. You want to make sure that you are prioritizing those what might seem like little things like working out or cooking your dinner or relaxing or going on a walk into your calendar and timestamping it. So this is something that I have been doing recently is I'll timestamp my workouts as well as my appointments and my meetings or when I have to record or when I have to edit my podcast because I just feel like this helps me to prioritize it and actually get it done for the day. And I also think that I can't work out at 7 a.m. every day, but I also can't work out at 6 p.m. every day. Because I'm a freelancer and I work for myself, my days are always different. So yes, I can build a routine, but some days might look different than others. So I like to make sure that in my calendar, I will write down the days and the times that I can go to the gym. So maybe I look at my calendar and I'm like, wait, I can only go to the gym twice this week because of these reasons or whatever it might be. So let me make sure I get extra steps in when I go here, when I go there. That type of stuff. So like, for example, tomorrow is Saturday. I'm going to be in the city all day. I'm actually not sleeping at home tonight. And then all day tomorrow, I'm going to be in the city. And when I get home, I have to run a ton of errands. And then we are hosting dinner at night. So I don't have time to go to the gym tomorrow. So now that I know that I don't have time to go to the gym tomorrow, I can think to myself, you know what? How about when I'm in the city, I wear more of like a fitness outfit and I just do an hour-long walk in the city tomorrow? Or how about me and my friend are getting lunch in the city tomorrow. Why don't we go to a place that's like a 45-minute walk so I can get my steps in? That's the way that I like to think, at least, because I just feel like it's much easier because I just feel like it holds me more accountable for getting those things done. So that's how I like to be when it comes to the weekly stuff. So every either Friday night, Sunday night, or Monday morning, I like to sit down and I like to go into my Google Calendar and I like to color coordinate and timestamp every single thing that I have to do. And if you know yourself and know your body, make sure that you're doing those high priority tasks at a time when you're most productive. So if you know you're most productive or you're most creative at 1 p.m., don't say let's shoot content at 6 p.m. It's like, no, shoot content at 1 p.m. because that's when you're most productive. Or even if you work a 9-to-5 corporate job, you can't really handle your schedule as much, which I totally understand. I know a lot of my girls here are in school or work corporate, so you can't really prioritize or time block as much as you want, but maybe know, oh, I know at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock p.m. I get really tired or I get really anxious or I get really antsy and I need to get away from my desk. Make sure, okay, at 2 p.m. I'm going to go for a 10-minute walk outside of my office or outside of my class, maybe not outside of classes, but like outside of my office so I can take a 10-minute walk. I'll go grab a coffee. Put that in your calendar. And this is what I call time blocking. Time blocking to just kind of put your phone on do not disturb, like do not be responding to emails or anything. Just take 10 minutes. 10 minutes. 5 minutes of it could be going outside. 5 minutes of it could be using the bathroom. I don't care. Take 10 minutes of your day if you are working in a desk job to go outside and get fresh air. I know so many people that work corporate jobs and they're like, yeah, I don't think I stepped outside all day today besides getting into work and leaving work. And I'm like, I understand what it's like to be locked in and grind and just want to sit at your computer all day. And I find myself guilty of this too, especially because I work for myself and I am not obligated to go anywhere. It is so easy to just wake up every single morning and just roll out of bed, go downstairs, grab a coffee, come upstairs and sit at my desk here upstairs in my next to my bedroom and just work for hours. I remember the other day I had a call at like 8 a.m. So I woke up at 7:30, went downstairs, made a coffee, came up at my desk, got on my call at 8, and the next thing I knew, I looked at the time, it was 4 p.m. and I did not leave my desk. From 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., I hadn't left my desk because I had meeting to meeting and I just started grinding. I didn't even know I was hungry because I was just so focused on working. And I just feel like I know what it's like to not want to take yourself out of that grinding working mode because you're like, this is when I'm most productive. I don't want to lose that. However, it's going to hurt you in the long run. And this is going to be the reason that you do burn out and crash out so much is because you're not taking those little daily breaks. I also think that it's really nice to do just like no distraction time blocking. So basically you have time blocking for just relaxing, but I also think it's really nice to have time blocking for like that no distraction, let me hustle this. So for example, if you didn't get to your emails or your DMs or your texts all day, for 10 minutes, put your phone on do not disturb and just batch answer all those emails or send out all those DMs or answer all those texts, whatever it is that your job requires. Like I know for me, I like to do a lot of engagement for my social media clients. So I'll put a 20-minute timer on, I'll put my phone on do not disturb, I'll go to my client's feed and I'll do 20 minutes on TikTok or maybe 10 minutes on TikTok, 10 minutes on Instagram, 20 minutes on TikTok, whatever I feel like is best for that day or whatever is most active that day. And I just like to do a batch engagement. Then I do it for myself, then I do it for my other client. And then when it comes to emails, if I feel like I'm really behind on emails, I'll do the same thing. Put everything on do not disturb and I won't even set a timer. I'll just go through all my prioritized emails. So I think it's just really important to have that like focus mode, just tunnel vision. Let me get this done. Let me crush this. And once I have this done, I'm going to be so happy at the end of the day that this is done. That's something you want to think about when you're doing these tasks as well is what am I going to be so happy about when I get into bed and know that I did? For me, it's something as easy as like returning stuff. I hate doing returns. So I know, oh, if I do my returns today, I'm going to be so happy that I did my returns. Like that is the way that I think about things a lot is just I know if I get this done today, I'm going to be very happy. So I like to make sure that that's on my list of things to do. Another thing for being productive and just staying on track is I want you to think about your environment. Where are you doing your work? Before I actually started using and prioritizing this office space, I was only doing work in my bed, which is so horrible. Like I was recording my podcast from my bed, editing, emails, meetings. Sometimes I would go to my vanity right next to my bed, but I wasn't leaving my bedroom. And I will say I love my bedroom. I love my space. I always made sure it was clean, but I also think it got super overwhelming, especially because I film a lot of content for brands. I would have PR all over the place and just like boxes and clothes and this and that. And it was just something that would set my mood off. And I feel like it would make me crash out sometimes. So I was like, I have this small space next to my bedroom. Let me make it an office. It's a super small office, but it does the job. It's like my desk is here, my chair is here, and all my work stuff is here. And now I know when I step into here, I'm grinding out, and that is all that needs to be done in this room. The filming can continue being done in my bedroom, but this is where I grind and I get all of my work done. So I think just having that little designated space to do all of your work, whether you work from home, you work for yourself, you have a side hustle, whatever it is, just, or even if you work a 9 to 5, just, and some days you work from home, where is your work from home space? I just think it's so important to have a space in your home. And I know this isn't a privilege for everybody, especially if you live at home with your parents and maybe you don't have your own space. I live at home with my parents, so for me, it's really important to have my own space upstairs, but try to find a way that you can do it. I remember even in my old house, I had like a little corner of my bedroom where my desk was. It wasn't facing my bed. It was just like a little space in my bedroom. So try to do what you can to make sure that you have a space to do all of this stuff in, and just remind yourself that a clean space is a clear mind. So make sure your space is being taken care of. Make sure your bed is made every single morning. Make sure every single night you do a little cleanup. Like, I don't like waking up in a messy room. So my morning cleanup consists of making my bed, maybe taking some things off my nightstand, like my tea from the night before, maybe picking up my bathroom a little bit, and then every single night I like to tidy up every single night. So every single night I make sure clothes are put away, my bathroom is clean, my vanity's clean, nothing's on my dresser or my bedside table. Everything is clean, my sheets are untucked, my magnesium spray is all over my bed, and this is how I know, okay, now my body knows, like, we're getting ready for bed. So even just having little routines and rituals every single morning and every single night are just going to help you start and end the day off in the best way. And when you do that, you're going to be more motivated to follow the things on your calendar and stay kind of like productive throughout it. It's so easy too when you're in these routines to forget to do little things like eat or drink your water or spend some time outside or even answer a friend or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whatever when you're doing these things. So I want you to just make sure and just remind yourself throughout the day. This is like kind of, I don't know, I feel like this is like a weird tip, but this is something I like to do, is just remind myself of the important things in life and just be like, it's not that serious. Like, yes, I want my podcast to be huge and that is serious, but it's not that serious if I can't do this today. It will get done tomorrow. Like, I like to make sure I'm prioritizing the important things in my life so much. Hydration, movement, family, friendship, all of that stuff, I need to make sure that I am prioritizing. Another thing I want you to do, which I just started doing this, so I like love the fact that I did this. So I like to make to-do lists, of course, every single morning, but now I make a list of everything that I did at the end of the day. So this became really helpful for my social media clients. So I started doing this for one of my clients because I just felt like throughout the day, like I was doing more than I even set out to do. So what I like to do is, obviously I don't need to have a daily recap with all of my clients. I like to just do a weekly call with all of my clients, just like get on track for the week with the content, all of that stuff. And what I started doing now is I started making lists of everything that I did for that client. So after I do 20 minutes of engagement on TikTok, I'll write that down. After I post an Instagram story or a TikTok, I'll write that down. And at the end of each day, I'll send them a list, just be like, hey, hope you had a great day. Here's a list of everything that I got done for the day today for blank client. And they'll just be really grateful that they know what got done, because obviously they might be maybe the owner of the company doesn't want this much. This is what I like to give my clients. I'm sure not every owner of every company would want this, but I know like my client likes this. I'll just give them a little list. It could be an email, it could be a text message, it could be a Slack message, whatever it is. And I just think it's really nice for your client. And obviously you don't have to do this to your boss or whatever, but I know for me, it helps me. And if you don't want to do this to anyone, you could do it for yourself. So I'll do that for my clients, but then I'll also write down for myself, like today I did not record a podcast episode on my to-do list, but I felt motivated to do so. So I said, okay, I'm going to do this because I feel motivated to record this. I feel like I've been super productive recently and I want to share about it. So I just felt motivated to record this episode randomly. I think that's a really important thing, is just at the end of the day, make a list of the things that you already did. And then I just feel like it just motivates you and it makes you proud of yourself for everything you got done that day. So those are pretty much all the notes that I have. I have like a few book shout outs that I want to shout out. So I just got this new book called Faith Driven Entrepreneur that I will link down below as well. And I just feel like reading self-help books also just motivates me. So whether I'm laying by the pool to tan, or I'm taking like a 20-minute break in between my workday, or I'm drinking my coffee or whatever it might be, I just like to open up that book, annotate it a little bit. I like to read my devotional. I am currently reading My Utmost for His Highest. and just like other books like Atomic Habits, my 5-minute journal, all of that stuff. I'm going to link all of that down below, but I've really been trying to lean more into books rather than my screen time, like my phone. And I've also, I know this is screen time, but I have been trying to lean more into Substack rather than my phone as well. I think that even though it is a digital platform that I'm on my screen for, it's more productive information that I can actually learn from. So I like to find new productive hacks on it and just get motivated and inspired in different things. Like my content, my podcast is a lot of the things that I think of and I create, but I also, of course, like grabbing from other people's stories and what's helped other people so you guys can get just all the best information. But those are just some sources that I've been using. And I just have a lot going on. I feel like in the summertime as well, there's much more events and things going on. So like I know for me, because my engagement party is June 20th, I'm now planning out exactly how I'm going to get all my appointments done that I have to get done. So if you care about my personal life, I will share with you some things that I have on my calendar as somebody who does their own podcast, does their own social media, does freelance social media for other clients, is planning an engagement party, and also likes to keep track of their health. So I'm going to read to you a little bit about what I have coming up this weekend and this week, just because everything is super busy, and I'll read it to you from my beautiful color-coordinated Google Calendar. So today's Friday. Pretty boring day, honestly, just been working from home all day. Also, the weather has been so horrible and rainy, and I'm just like so upset because I just feel like I'm so not motivated in the rainy weather. I think that's a common thing. Tomorrow, which is Saturday, I have an influencer event in the city at 11:30, and then I'm grabbing lunch after. And once I get home from that event, I actually have to go suit shopping with my boyfriend because he still doesn't have a suit for our engagement party. So we have to go suit shopping for him, and then I have to prep dinner because we are hosting a Father's Day dinner on Saturday night. So that's everything we have going on. And then I kind of want to tell you a little bit. So like Monday, for example, I have a call with my client at 11 a.m. and then I have a call with a potential new client at 2 p.m. So because my day's kind of spaced out, I know from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. I will probably be sitting here at my desk with meetings and all of that stuff. So I'm going to make sure I get my workout done in the morning, my morning routine, all my personal content done from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., I'll be working on all my clients. And then after 3 p.m., I will start doing my own personal work. And I'm going to try to prioritize a walk in the later afternoon, depending if it's raining. Tuesday the 17th, I will be in the city all day for a client shoot. However, I want to make sure that I prioritize a workout that day. Wednesday is my appointment day, which is one of the best days if you're a girl, high maintenance girl, you know. Like Wednesday is the day I'm getting everything done. Right now I have an eyebrow appointment at 11 a.m. and I have my nail appointment at 12 p.m. because I need to get new nails done and I need to get my toes done as well. I'm debating on booking a tanning appointment that day as well, only because this weather doesn't look very promising. Like I was hoping for a beach day next week to tan for my event, but that doesn't look very promising. So I might have to just get a tan on the 18th, which is going to be a last minute decision. The 19th is the day before my party, so I didn't book any meetings or anything for the 19th or the 20th. The 19th is solely going to be for planning the rest of my party, any last minute things I have to do, dropping off decorations to the venue. I can't wait to show you guys all the content from this engagement party. I have like not really been talking about it much. Like I've been talking about it a little bit, but not really. I think for like when I wedding plan eventually, I will fully dive into every single detail with you guys. But I've been a little quiet on the engagement party planning because it was honestly pure chaos, you guys. I had to find a new venue 2 weeks. Like literally 3 days ago, I found a new venue and my party's on June 20th. So like I had to find a new venue 2 weeks before my event, which was almost mission impossible. I was just under so much stress. So I had to find a new venue, which meant new menus and just all of this stuff. It was pure chaos. It's been a really stressful 2 weeks, honestly. But now that I have my new beautiful venue, I'm so excited to just share all the content with you guys and just show you guys everything that I've been working on and just show you my look and my dress and my hair and my makeup. I'm so excited to show you guys and just, oh, I can't wait to show all of you guys that. But the 20th is the day of it. So I have like my hair, my makeup, leaving to go set up. Like I have that whole day time stamped. And then the 21st is actually my birthday. So like I have such a busy weekend this upcoming week and next week. And I have a bridal shower on the 22nd. So like there's so much going on in the next 2 weeks that I feel like my routine's a little bit out of whack because there's like so many appointments that I have to do. there's gifts I have to buy, there's like little party stuff I have to do. There's a lot going on, but just like for an example as well on like weekly things I have to do, like I have like wrap Dad's Father's Day gifts, get my sister a graduation gift. Like I have little things like that written down along with like the big things I have to do, because I just feel like for me, I'm very big on just making sure that I get everything done I have to get done. So whether it's a big thing, like a meeting or an appointment, or it's like a small thing, like wrapping a gift, I just like to make sure it's all done. Like my best friend's bridal shower that's on the 22nd, her gift has been wrapped for the past like 2 weeks, because I just like knew exactly what to get her. I said, let me buy it, let me write it down. Like those are just little things, because I knew once my engagement party gets closer, it's going to be so hard for me to think of other things. So I just like to make sure that I make those lists of things, because it can be easy to forget things. And I feel like with personal things as well, it can seem very offensive if you forget someone's event or someone's birthday. So just making sure you write down everything, stay super organized. I actually just started using Timetree, which is a shared calendar, and I forced my boyfriend on it and my family on it. So I have 2 separate calendars, one with my family and one with my boyfriend. And anytime me and my boyfriend have an event or a graduation or anything, or even if he books a haircut appointment, I put everything in our calendar, because he's not going to do it because he's a boy and he doesn't know how to do that stuff. But I'm really good at planning and organizing, so I do it for him. So anytime there's like a family thing going on, or if I'm going to be away or he's going to be away, I just like to write it down in there. I know he looks at it here and there when planning stuff, so I just think it's really important. And then for my family as well, like whenever we have family stuff going on, now we know like, okay, this person's busy, so we can't plan this, etc. So I think a lot of it just comes with having fun with it, color coordinate it, use an app that you like or a source that you like, and you will be just fine. What I want you to do, your little weekly challenge, is I want you to choose one thing that you want to get done this week. DM me once you got it done, or post on your Instagram story and just like say something like, I got my 10K steps in 4 times this week, and post it on your Instagram story and tag me, because I love seeing this type of stuff and I love seeing you guys follow what I am telling you guys to do on my podcast. So make sure to tag me on Instagram stories, anything that you do. Follow me on Instagram at For You From Eve, on TikTok at For You From Eve. Subscribe to my Substack, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow my podcast, and of course, like always, give me a good rating, a good review, share with your friends, comment down below, listen to my ads, use my sponsored links, all of that stuff, because I love you guys and I love doing this podcast, and I just think the podcast industry has been very difficult recently, so I'm just trying my best to get support from you guys so I can continue to do this. But thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope it helped you. I hope it motivated you to want to be more productive. And I will talk to you guys on Friday with a really exciting guest episode. So keep track of that. Mwah.